after this big run off the lows, it seems like we're now hopefully setting up to consolidate for a couple more days. Yesterday on the open, we moved up to Friday's resistance area. It failed the first time, came down $1. Second time,
Rent-A-Center RCI.
But eventually the sellers came back in and we closed. I'm sorry, we tested the pre-market low. We bounced there, closed about 60, 70 cents above the pre-market low. And this morning, same deal. So if we breach this support right here, let's call it 270.60 to 271. And we just come off a little bit more into like 270-ish. I think that sets us up pretty well for another pop back up to 272.5, 273. If we can get that for today and maybe even tomorrow, it set us up for a move off of another consolidation period. So then this is how markets trend, and then they consolidate and they trend. Obviously, the downtrend was a lot more violent than this uptrend, other than the move right off the low. But it would be easier to identify a larger setup. Although yesterday treated us really well, right? I mean, shorting at 273, quite $1. End of the day, it was trickier, but we did pop back up above 271 in the after hours, traded all the way up to 272. So these in-between days, you identify prior day support and resistance, and you kind of trade for an inside day. Usually you can capture at least one winning trade there. On the IWM side, it kind of looks similar. The big move off the bottom. We had identified, what was this, 152. So they did flush 152 at the end of the day, just like they did with SPYs, and it bounced back up. This is actually, I guess it had a little bit of a bigger bounce than the SPYs did in terms of how close it got to the high, Friday high. 53.75. So we got 53.75, 54 resistance now on IWM. And 52, let's call it 51.85 support. So I use this range right here. If it breaks in either direction out of that range. All right, so this morning I put some stuff on the sheet. I didn't really like most of the things that were moving this morning are particularly good stocks to trade. So not as excited as I was about Walmart yesterday. But there's a couple of things here to look at. So let's start with SLCA. This one, it's gapping lower on a very small miss. The conference call is supposed to start right now. So we're going to see, this might quickly reverse itself based on what they say in the conference call. But the first thing I notice when I look at the long-term chart is after having trended up from $15 to $60, it got cut in half. It kind of has gone $6 below that 50% mark and $6 above. So this, it's down a significant amount from the highs. And so normally when something's down this much from the highs and the number doesn't look that bad and it's gapping lower, my first thought is, let's see if it bounces. And you can see, I'm just looking at it, it's at 28 bid right now. You can see when it bounced here to 34 off this pullback low here, it came back down and was accumulated for over a week between $27.75 and $28. And then it came down, and I guess the big reversal market day it hit $28 as well. So I would suppose if the conference call doesn't go well, it could take this out and maybe come back into 26.50. Did I put that on the sheet? 26.50 where it broke out from here. $26 here. Yeah, so what could happen really quickly is by the time the market opens, this thing could be back above 28.5 or even 29. And then I would watch, and a lot of it's going to depend on what they say in the conference call. There wasn't enough in that number to think that it should get crushed. Um, but there is enough, I guess, to put it into the support area here from the last few days. You can see I don't really love it, so we're going to have to figure out. I guess the easiest way to look at this is when the market comes in, it starts to get bought here. It's actually holding above 28.80, 29 on the open, and the buyers step in. You look for the gap fill into 30.50. If it is down in the 28 area, I would be looking for the bounce there as well. If it shows weakness right on the open below 28 and comes back up and can't hold above and starts to roll over, then I would think about lower prices. DVN. So this is a more liquid name. This one, so they had a large miss, but it was such a big miss. I wasn't sure if that number they reported was matching up with how analysts were looking at it. And this has come off about 20% in the last couple of weeks into the numbers. You can see bigger picture is definitely in a downtrend. Using 32.50, it's being offered at. Basically opening up inside of this area right here, which was midsummer to fall, kind of where it's been for a few months. Yeah, so the reason I definitely intentionally didn't put AAP on the sheet. You can watch it and you'll see very quickly why I didn't put it on the sheet, especially right on the open. Certainly after the open, if it settles down, you can look at it. Okay, so 32, and then the next below that is support is 30. The first resistance I have here, 33.50, which I kind of put on there already, and 35. If the support's 32 on the open, flushes below and starts to hold it, and you buy it, I would be long here against 31.80 and look for a larger bounce up to the first resistance. Next one is PTLA. And let's zoom out so you can see this. So this one actually looked a little bit interesting to me where the price is right now. So if we go back and we go here, when obviously some really good news came out, it broke out from here in 42-ish. So I like the fact that this is gapping down pretty close to this day here. It opened in below 40, but it went from 40 to 56, which is kind of insane. I think I probably tried to short this somewhere. Just kept on going. When stocks come back down to areas where they had big moves from, you really want to pay attention. You know, if we go back to the day, this is probably the day the market reversed. It did test that 42 area. It had a big move back up to 50. I did see a couple of comments saying there was an overreaction on this, so I think it's a bounce candidate. Certainly could flush it all the way down to 40 and then bounce from there, but you got to pay attention here because other people will be. If buyers step in very quickly, it could go from 42 to 44. And then you would evaluate from there. And just zoom in a little bit, see if we can see where it is now. So there was a couple of prints down here, and it did already go from here to here. I'd like to see a retest at least of this on the open and go from there. And then Roku, I started to put this on because I thought maybe they had reported because I saw it was up so much. It looks like some city who has a $28 target on it upgraded it. I can't even unpack what the hell the city analyst said. They put it on their watch list, even though their price target is 28. It looked like an upgrade, but maybe they're saying watch it because we think it's going to go down a shitload after the report. Anyway, it's good to look at it because this is one of the probably the top IPO stock, I think, in a long time, right? This is the best IPO we've seen in a couple of years. It's still holding up really well. So after it had topped out a couple in the mid 50s, it came back down and held high 30s, 39 a couple of times, tested, and it held higher, and then broke out of this here, and so it's strong, very strong. Now it's gapping up again this morning, so it seems like people are trying to get in ahead of the numbers, which means if the numbers are good and it gaps up, they'll probably try to push it through this all-time high to here, and then maybe it would reverse back into the 50s or something like that. So that's your little earnings preview. That reacts positively. So I don't really have much to say with it, but they are going to report. It has been acting well. Initial reaction is down when they report. The first spot to take a look at it is how does it behave at 50. But it can overshoot. So below 50, it's 49. Walmart. So Walmart obviously was definitely a good top selection yesterday. I thought it was a little bit tricky in the sense that it showed its hand a little bit more in the pre-market than I would have liked. So I think people realized there was going to be a dump fest in it. And so we didn't quite get as high a spike back into this area to really just go huge on the short. It did come back up to this pre-market area where it had this final down leg, and I was able to get it on the top of this wick, which was nice. On the open, it came all the way down to 95. This looks like nothing this bounce here, but this was a dollar bounce. I'm sorry, this actually was the dollar bounce right here. This was only about 60, 70 cents. They flushed it through 95. It had to move back up to this resistance level. You can see it failed there exactly. That's why I sold it there. And the rest of the day, it was accumulated 94.5. They tried to bounce it again. It failed at the same spot that it failed in the morning. So that was pretty clean. And then this morning, it is above 95. So the way that it closed yesterday in the after hours certainly set up for a test today of that 94, maybe a little bit lower. Same thing for this morning. 95.25, 95.50 are spots to look for failure. And then, how does it do at 94.50? Does it take that out and test yesterday's low and go lower? Or perhaps some of the institutions that weren't big dumpers of the stock yesterday, they'll come in and buy, maybe even push it up a little bit higher. Maybe it goes all the way back to 96. But because of how weak it was yesterday, closing at the low, my first thought is to shorting it into this failure area right here and this failure area right here. And we'll see how it does at 94.50 or a little bit above 94.50. Next one is Home Depot. I actually posted a blog on a few of these stocks, so if you didn't read it, you can check that out. But the thing here that I missed was our second support, which was 186.5. It pretty much got there to the penny before it had that $3.50 up move. It was in Walmart and the SPYs at the time, so I missed it. But it closed right there. This one looks actually very weak as well. And so, part of that may have been the market sell. It actually just looks like it was sold all day pretty much. So this morning, 188. Did I put that on the sheet? Yeah, 188 to kind of 188.25. This is a spot where I'd be looking to see if there's some sellers to jump on the short side, to play it down to yesterday's low and see what happens from there. Here's the 30-minute. Maybe it wants to, I don't know if it's going to test this 176, but maybe they want to pull it into like 184.5 to 183.5 or something like that. And that's why it was sold in the afternoon. And then UBNT, this one was pretty wild. So it flushed on the open down through 50 and then had the initial bounce back up to 55 where they were selling it. If you shorted it here, that was not wrong. I think Shark was shorting it there, lost some money into this next up leg. And then eventually closed below that 55. Let's zoom in. I mean, the best setup in this one would be like today, it catches a bid again, pops up to somewhere like here, and then it just trends all the way back down to 50. This is clearly somebody, it was the morning resistance 55. There was definitely somebody buying it there at the end of the day. They bought here, it bounced back up, made a lower high. So there's still the sellers are stepping down and the buyers are buying. They dropped it here right at 330 and then they came back in again. So I guess the right way to think about this is if the buyers are holding it above 55, you should be trading along to 58 to 60. And if the sellers are holding it below, let's say 54, just to give us a little bit of leeway, then you can think about it coming back into 52 and then 50. It's going to be a tougher stock. It's a thinner stock. It's a wider spread.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.